Tonight, the return of winter weather.
We've been dealing with car crashes, collisions, jackknife tractor trailers.
Trouble on the roads all across the region during a pre-spring snowstorm. New clues in the disappearance of Amber Ellis.
There's maybe a bit of new information in there that we haven't discussed before.
How police and a family are trying to keep the unsolved case of a Hagersville woman in focus. Plus, cold as ice.
Traditionally, it's made, as I've touched on before, with hot water.
A shift in setting surfaces that's carving out savings.
There was about a 5% reduction in both natural gas and electricity
At some City of Kitchener rinks.
Good evening. From the highways to the side streets, today's sudden return to snowy and slippery conditions has taken a toll. Road closures, spinouts, crashes all over the region. In fact, more than 100 crash reports in Waterloo region alone, including a fatal collision in Cambridge today. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us live now near Highway 8 in Kitchener with the latest. Karis, we should note the cause of that fatal crash still under investigation. It is one of several, though, where weather is considered a factor during these messy conditions.
That's right, Tony. Waterloo Regional Police say weather is definitely being considered as a factor in that Cambridge crash. And Ontario Provincial Police say the dumping of snow has also kept them busy today. They even had to close portions of Highway 401 for cleanup of collisions. A tumultuous Friday drive as the snow came down hard and fast across the region, creating slushy and slippery conditions. In Cambridge, police confirm the weather is one factor they're looking at in a fatal collision involving a truck and a Subaru. It happened in the Maple Grove Road and Speedville Road area, and a 77-year-old Guelph woman was pronounced dead.
The passenger of the Subaru was pronounced deceased at the scene, and the driver of the large white truck reported no injuries. Weather will be definitely consideration in the investigation. The investigation is still ongoing. Officers are still on scene, and we still are asking anyone who may have witnessed the collision or anyone with information to contact police.
It was one of many collisions across the region during this sudden return to winter weather.
We had spring conditions last week, winter today. Drivers really just have to be prepared to adjust their driving conditions very quickly. As we can see today, the conditions went from clear road conditions to very snow, icy conditions very quickly.
It was the same story along provincial highways like Highway 8 heading into Kitchener. Bumper to bumper this afternoon with slick conditions.
The snow is, wet. It's perfect snowball packing snow, but you drive on it, it packs down. It can make a really hard sheet of ice.
And all along the 401, crashes and closures throughout the day forced traffic onto side roads like here on Guelph Line.
It's been a very busy day for officers all across the GTHA. We've got cars sliding all over the place. That snow really came in around noon, and we've been dealing with car crashes, collisions, jackknife tractor trailers.
And farther west along the 401 near Ayr.
We are on scene right now investigating multiple crashes involving transport trucks and passenger vehicles. The good news, only minor injuries reported. The bad news, traffic is backed up.
Sometimes it's vehicles blocking all lanes with debris, tractor trailers blocking all lanes. That causes a lot of problems as well. And we got to wait for crews to get there to remove those vehicles before we can reopen the lanes.
For some who were out in the thick of it, the conditions were just too much.
We're come from Waterloo, going to Oshawa for a basketball game, and the weather just sucks,
And this group on their way to Oshawa, opting instead to head back to Waterloo.
I was driving these three guys to a basketball game, and it was crazy. I almost got in a crash one time. I had to swerve over into the shoulder. It was crazy.
To give you an idea of just how busy emergency responders have been out here, Waterloo Regional Police say between 9 this morning and 4 this afternoon, they've received reports of 166 collisions. Tony.
Really puts things in perspective. Okay, Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp reporting near Highway 8 heading into Kitchener tonight on these slick and snowy conditions. And we're going to turn now to our first look at the weather with Leanne Evans in studio tonight over at our weather wall. It feels like this has just been going on and on all day. We noticed this morning how long it took to get to work, how slick the expressway was. Some horrible conditions all around us.
And you and I both saw just how quick things changed and how quick the snowfall really came down. The this morning around the 9:30 mark. I think things started locally, and it really didn't let up through the afternoon hours. Currently, where we are in the Sports World area of Kitchener, it is raining. So things are shifting, and we're going to notice a messy mix out there on the roads as well. We do have some wind and winter storm warnings to tell you about, especially for areas south of Waterloo region into Brantford towards Hamilton through the Niagara Peninsula down to Windsor, Essex for hazardous winter conditions and snowfall amounts upwards of about 20 centimeters of localized accumulation. In Waterloo region, we are under a special weather statement. This is in place for many communities right across southern and southwestern Ontario. We also have snow events in place for Kitchener, Cambridge and Waterloo, for parking bans in place on the roads overnight so that the snowplows can get out there and do what they need to do, because we're continuing to see this system push east, and once it does, we're in for another round of a powerful winter storm. We'll tell you when that's going to happen coming up in the full forecast. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, we'll talk to you shortly. Thank you. A new appeal tonight to find out what happened to a woman who went missing from Hagersville. Provincial police sharing some new details about the case of Amber Ellis, who hasn't been seen or heard from since February 2021. Let's bring in CTV's Colton Weens now live with more on this. And Colton, you had a chance to speak with the lead investigator on this case today.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Detective Inspector Mark Allison from the OPP Criminal Investigations Branch says they're sharing new details in hopes that more witnesses will come forward. Police believe there are people who know what happened to Ellis, and as more time passes, they're asking the public for help.
It's horrible for us. It's horrible for her children. Just having the kids here reminds us every day, every minute.
It's been over 5 years since Amber Ellis was last seen. Ontario Provincial Police renewing their call for information in her disappearance this week, releasing this video detailing her disappearance and including comments from her parents.
We just need answers. We got to bring her home.
Somebody knows something. Help us find her and bring her back home.
The Hagersville woman has not been seen or heard from since February 2021. At that time, the 32-year-old had been staying at a home on Six Nations of the Grand River. OPP believe foul play was involved in her disappearance and are now sharing that Ellis may have been involved in a confrontation in the Eagle Place neighborhood of Brantford shortly before she went missing.
It's relatively new to the investigation overall. As I said, we're trying to get people to come forward. If people have started to come forward, that's why we have new information. And we think there's more witnesses that can come forward to tell us more and corroborate that information that's already come forward.
Ellis's mother was the one who reported her missing on March 8th, 2021. In October 2022, a $50,000 reward was announced for information leading to an arrest and conviction in the case. And multiple ground searches have been conducted in Six Nations over the years, including at a property on 6th Line in June 2023 and another on 1st Line in March 2024. Police say no human remains were discovered during either of those searches.
There are people that have information, and now's the time to come forward. It's the right thing to do, and it's important. And to bring Amber home, that's what we need.
Ellis is described as 5'9" tall and 120 pounds, a thin build, long dark hair and brown eyes. The 32-year-old also had ties to Brantford, Cambridge, Hamilton and Norfolk County. Police say her parents have always been cooperative in the investigation, and while it can be harder to find details as time goes on, police aren't giving up on finding Ellis.
It can be harder, but we keep pushing forward and we follow the evidence. And we keep going, and we bring this forward to bring new witnesses forward.
Now, police are asking anyone with information on Ellis's disappearance or the possible confrontation reported in Brantford to contact them or Crime Stoppers. Tony.
Colton Weens with the new appeal in that case. Colton, thank you. A Waterloo woman handed a life sentence for hiring a man to kill her husband more than 20 years ago is out of prison, and with very few conditions. A recent parole board decision removed a number of previously imposed conditions on Leanna McDonald, saying she's complied with what's been asked of her and is a low risk to reoffend. CTV's Krista Simpson has been looking into the latest on this case for us and joins us live in studio tonight. Krista.
Well, Tony, this murder shocked the community. The body found in a park where children played. And while it happened less than 22 years ago, the woman who admitted to orchestrating the killing has been on full parole for some time now.
It was November 1st, 2004, when a body was found in a wooded area in Waterloo's Sandown Park. The victim, 34-year-old David Johnston. Months later, 2 arrests. Johnston's wife, Leanna McDonald, and Richard Davidson, a 21-year-old described as an acquaintance of the family. Court heard Davidson wasn't the first person McDonald asked to murder her husband. She promised to pay Davidson insurance money. McDonald lured her husband to the park on Halloween night where Davidson was waiting. Davidson hit Johnston on the head with a baseball bat and choked him. Then McDonald checked her husband's vital signs to make sure he was dead. Both originally charged with first-degree murder. Davidson pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and McDonald pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. In 2006, she was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 15 years. McDonald received day parole in 2017 and full parole in 2020. She's now 59 years old, and following a review last month, the Parole Board of Canada removed a number of conditions that had been imposed on her, including that she would have to report all relationships with males and provide documented financial information to her parole supervisor. The Parole Board of Canada says she completed a number of correctional programs and is considered a low risk to reoffend. According to your case management team, you have a positive attitude, are fully transparent, and have appropriate supports including family, church, and employment. The decision reads. It also notes you have stable employment and finances, and you demonstrate genuine remorse for the harm caused to the victim. While most of the special conditions on McDonald were removed, she is still subject to all standard conditions of release and also is ordered to have no direct or indirect contact with the victim's family without prior permission of her parole supervisor. McDonald claimed Johnston mistreated her and spent all their money. During sentencing, Johnston was described as a spiritual man who loved his family.
There's no indication in the parole board's written decision where McDonald is now living. Tony.
Okay, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson with new reporting on that parole board decision. The Ford government has announced it's introducing legislation which would exclude documents from the office of the Premier, his cabinet, and parliamentary assistants from Freedom of Information requests. Critics say the move is making decision-making less transparent. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on why the government believes this is necessary.
It's a shift in Ontario's Freedom of Information law that will keep more records and decisions in darkness. The government says it's modernizing 40-year-old legislation that doesn't reflect how people connect.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have cloud computing. We didn't have even email. Email was very new at the time.
A bill to be introduced this spring would mean records from the Premier, cabinet ministers, parliamentary assistants, and their offices wouldn't be available to journalists or members of the public. That covers virtually all progressive Conservative MPPs and their staff.
This government has probably been one of the most transparent governments in the history of Ontario.
The leader of the opposition sees this quite a different way.
This is I'll start by saying that.
Unconvinced by the government's rationale.
No government is going to shut down freedom of information laws unless they're trying to hide something.
The changes a new challenge to get answers.
This shows that Doug Ford is only trying to protect himself and his government.
The plan is to apply the eventual law retroactively. That could hit requests already in the pipeline.
You call myself on my cell phone number.
There's a multi-year fight to peek into the personal phone the Premier uses for work.
I'm quite certain that the litigation will be moot, because we won't be able to get the Premier's phone records. So, the timing is very interesting. It does seem as though the Premier has a personal interest in this legislation.
The fact that Ontario says it's lining up laws with other provinces and the federal government
does not justify the Ford government adding an excessive secrecy loophole and layer of secrecy that will lead to even more corruption, waste of the public's money, and abuses of power.
That was CTV's Siobhan Morris reporting. People in southern Ontario and right across the country face soaring fuel prices because of the conflict in the Middle East, and the ripple effects could soon be felt in other areas of spending. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth takes a look at what we could see down the road.
When Janelle Clark saw the latest gas prices, she posted this video on social media. Disposable income for a road trip vacation with her husband and 3 children is no longer a reality.
We definitely couldn't afford that at all. It would be a crazy amount.
Gas analyst Dan McTagg says the war in Iran continues to jolt fuel prices around the globe.
Diesel's up 52 cents a liter net and gasoline up 25 cents a liter net.
Nova Scotia is slightly cheaper compared to the rest of Canada, but still climbing.
Nova Scotia would have started at $1.38 back on February the 27th.
Historically speaking, when global conflicts cause gas prices to go up, domestic tourism in Canada takes a major dip.
With the last Gulf War, we did see rubber tire traffic, so individual automobile traffic go down.
But there is some possible good news. During the Second Gulf War, cruise ship travel increased in the Maritimes and New England.
Just a little over 33% increase resulting from the ships diverting from the Gulf.
Cruise lines haven't announced any plans to divert cruise traffic to the East Coast yet. As for how high these fuel prices could go if the Iran war continues long term,
There's no limit, simply because at that stage, oil would go on a tear.
according to McTagg, if this conflict continues long term, it could also drain the emergency oil supplies around the globe, which could cause fuel prices to climb even higher, possibly to record levels. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
With March break next week, a new Nanos survey says border crossing is no longer on the radar for many Canadians. CTV's Abigail Beeman has that story.
Ottawa's airport is buzzing for March break, with passengers ready for destinations both hot,
go to the beach,
and cold.
Well, we're gonna go to Canmore and ski in the mountains.
And with continued trade tensions south of the border, fewer travelers here are heading to the United States.
Trying to avoid it if possible, only for work if I need to.
No, at this point I wouldn't go to the States.
New research from Nanos for CTV News shows 43% of Canadians, or 2 in 5, are less likely to travel to the United States this year compared to last. 38% don't go to the U.S. in general, while only 4% are more likely to in 2026.
It's a combination of, making a statement, and that has to do with kind of supporting Canada, avoiding the United States, looking at a place that's safe, but also keeping something and making decisions that are affordable. And that's probably why destinations in Canada probably have a pretty good level of appeal right now.
With everything that's going on, I just prefer to stay here and explore our amazing Canada that we have. And we have no plans to go down there anytime soon.
I feel like more than 43% should feel that way.
All of
I feel
Canada,
like
probably.
100%, because we're one big nation. We need to stick together.
Ben Miller's high school basketball team is heading home to Thunder Bay after competing in provincial championships in Pembroke, but they've stopped playing in the U.S.
I don't want to travel to the U.S. with all that drama going on down there.
Makes me feel unsafe.
On another topic, the survey also asked whether talk of separatism in Alberta has any impact on Canadians' plans to travel to that province. The majority of respondents, 61%, said it does not. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A powerful push toward the playoffs and a new milestone off the ice. Coming up next, the charity arm of the Kitchener Rangers has some big numbers to share from a very successful 50-50 campaign that is about to be very rewarding.
From special weather statements to winter storm warnings, we are experiencing quite the mess to the end of the week in Waterloo Region and right across southern Ontario. We'll tell you what's in store for the weekend coming up in the full forecast.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Shoppers looking to stock up on the Victoria Day long weekend in May could find retailers operating business as usual. The Ontario government wants to allow stores to stay open on select holidays, including Victoria Day. CTV's Camille Wilson has details.
Emma Green worked in retail and has some thoughts about statutory holidays.
As someone who was a customer service worker, I think that being at home is more important than being at work.
Green says she thinks the law should just stay the way it is.
I understand people want to go shopping maybe on their only day off, but I think that it's important to spend time with your family. I would want to.
The Ford government is planning to allow stores to open on Family Day and Victoria Day after the Premier said he was flooded with frustration on stores being closed on Family Day. The government says it's part of its economic plan to protect Ontario and will offer workers a chance to earn premium pay at time and a half.
It's called Family Day for a reason. It's not Let's Go Shopping Day.
Family Day began under a Liberal government in 2008 to give workers a break in the winter.
Workers in retail, they have families too. And we have lots of opportunities to shop during the week. There's a lot of time to go to stores. Those families deserve to have some time together. Opening stores up creates pressure for people to work.
Retailers are currently required to close New Year's Day, Good Friday, Victoria Day, Canada Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and Easter Sunday, part of the Retail Business Holiday Act forbidden shopping days. Although Family Day is not part of that forbidden act, labor groups want to keep it.
It's difficult enough today to find that work-home life balance. Holidays provide an opportunity to do that.
Gloria Lapointe feels it's just another holiday. Stores should stay open.
I mean, it's not like Christmas, then I would say okay. But yeah, no, a lot of people say, well, why should we have a family day? I mean, nobody has families, so I mean, I want to go shopping and I can't do that because it's closed.
And that was CTV's Camille Wilson reporting. The city of Kitchener is cooling down some of its costs to make ice rinks. Instead of the typical process involving hot water, they're using an innovative tool with a cold water method. As CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, the cutting-edge technology is cutting down the energy bills.
A game of ringette can't be played without a smooth, icy surface. And you can't have a smooth, icy surface without water.
Traditionally, it's made with hot water. So again, between 140 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
The traditional making of arena ice is rather energy intense. It requires natural gas to heat the water to high temperatures to remove the air bubbles in the water.
So the city of Kitchener is taking a different approach, cooling down the water temperature to reduce energy use and cut costs.
So between 50 and 75 degrees.
Aside from the dip in degrees, the process is still pretty similar.
This real ice system does the same thing, except it's just adding colder water with, again, those bubbles being removed. And it's still the same process of making a good quality sheet of ice.
Good quality ice that comes at a better price.
We're able to see annual savings about $6,225.
Along with energy efficiency.
There was about a 5% reduction in both natural gas and electricity.
The savings are warmly welcomed by councillors and city staff. Right now, the pilot project focuses on 3 local rinks, including Sports World Arena. But there are plans to break the ice and go bigger.
Grand River, the Kiwanis and Kinsman arenas at the Odd, as well as Don McLaren.
For now, the city plans to keep the taps running on this positive idea and keep the rink running smoothly. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
While the Kitchener Rangers are pushing toward the OHL playoffs, of course, they've locked down a playoff spot, a division title, but it's the team's charity arm that's looking to break a league record tonight with their 50-50 draw jackpot. That jackpot, organized by the Rangers Reach Community Fund, is now more than $101,000. Organizers say it's their most successful fundraising event yet, and it's all for a great cause.
We raise all of our funds at Ranger games through our jersey raffle, through our 50-50 draws. And then back into the community, we offer community impact grants to local organizations. We have regular grants that happen to minor hockey, etc. And we have our scholarship program as well annually that we award scholarships to students in Waterloo Region.
And you don't have to be at tonight's game in order to get tickets. You can buy them online until 9:15. The winner, by the way, can expect a call from TSN hockey insider Bob McKenzie tomorrow morning. All right, here's a live look outside as we continue to keep an eye on the roads in the Kitchener area. A look at Highway 8, as Leanne was mentioning, getting rain in some parts of our viewing area now. So that, of course, is adding to those slick and slippery conditions we've been experiencing all day. And we've got another messy system moving in for later in the weekend. Leanne's back on the desk with us in just a few minutes for your complete forecast. Also coming up, celebrating the best in Waterloo Region's business community. The Greater KW Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Awards Gala, giving a much-deserved nod to dozens of community builders. Next, though, the 2-week mark in the Iran war. We'll check in with CTV's Heather Wright for the latest on the conflict that's shaken the Middle East and the global economy. All right, Leanne's here with our complete forecast, and we've had a lot to keep track of with the weather today because we had this sudden return to winter-like conditions. We were all taking a look. We were all at a fitness class this morning, and suddenly outside, it was like we were in a snow globe.
It's funny because when we showed up to class, there was not a speck of snow in sight.
Dry roads.
And by the time we were done, Tony, you were out cleaning off the car like it was the middle of January all over again.
And then we found ourselves going, well, what can we do about it, really? It's March. We live in Ontario, so this is bound to happen.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, March is so funny because I remember in years past, you get those 1 or 2 days in March that are 20+ degree highs and pure sunshine, and you think it's summer, kind of like how we had fall spring the other day, but you also get these days, which are winter storms.
Oh, you're very kind. You call it false spring. I call it fake spring.
Fake spring.
It's got a bit more of an edge to it when you say it that way.
Well, if you all remember how we started the week, remember Monday? Wow, that was many moons ago, it feels like, when we take this live look outside over Highway 8 this hour. Wet roads, because we are seeing some rainfall now. That snowfall that we saw pretty consistent throughout majority of the day has now shifted to rain. So that's what we're experiencing as we head into the evening, but we'll likely see some mixed precipitation, even some freezing rain out there as well, and some ice buildup on the road. So do take care if you're making your way out. We got lots to tell you about wind and winter storm warnings in place for communities south of Waterloo Region towards Brantford, the Niagara Peninsula, Hamilton, all the way down the shores of Lake Erie to the Windsor-Essex County area. We're looking at 20 centimeters of snowfall with winds gusting upwards of about 90 kilometers an hour as we get into the later evening hours. Here in Waterloo Region and right across southern Ontario, we are under a special weather statement for snowfall and strong winds as we head into the evening. This came into play last night, but it is still in place by Environment Canada. Looking at upwards of about 15 centimeters of snowfall, gusty winds still too. Of course, we could see low to zero visibility with the blowing snow and the wind gusts that we're experiencing. We also have snow events in place in the city of Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. No parking on city streets into the overnight hours because we got to let the snow plows get out and city crews do their thing. Okay, here's how things look. This is that swath of snow. It stretches right across southwestern Ontario as we head into the evening hours. You'll notice some mixed precipitation as well, like we're seeing outside right now. Keep that in mind as we get into the overnight hours. By Saturday morning, we are going to see a little bit of lingering flurry activity, but it won't be anything like we saw today. By the time we get to the afternoon, look at this, a clear picture. Hopefully we'll even see a little bit of sunshine through the afternoon tomorrow. If you can, get outside and enjoy it while you can, because we're watching for a Colorado low that's going to be very impactful and powerful for all of us in southern Ontario. By Sunday morning is when that next system is going to be approaching. We could see this also in the form of mixed precipitation with times of heavy snowfall too. Okay, so let's talk about temperatures. Sitting at 1 degree in Waterloo Region this hour, it is feeling closer to -4 when we factor in that wind chill. Those gusty winds playing a little bit of a factor. We did reach a daytime high of 1 degree today, right around seasonal for this time of year. Again, with our overnight low. We're right on par for what we're used to seeing. Overnight tonight, -4. It'll feel closer to -11. Again, rain, snow mix as we get into the overnight hours. Tomorrow, -1 will be the daytime high, feeling closer to -12 when we factor in the wind chill. Now, I also want to touch on something we've been talking about through the week. We've been waiting to see if we are going to hit a record snowfall for the season. We're waiting for those numbers to still come in this hour, so we'll keep you posted on that by the time we get to Monday morning. Okay, here's how things look as we get into the weekend. Messy conditions by Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, -7, the daytime high in Waterloo region. If you're joining us from the southern Georgian Bay area, you'll have a daytime high -12 on St. Patrick's Day, quite chilly. Scattered flurries are what's in store for you folks. And in the Windsor area, here's your 7-day long-range forecast. By tomorrow, things are looking up. After you get through some morning flurries, you'll get to start your weekend with a mix of sun and cloud and a daytime high of 4 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at tonight's Weather Watcher picture. It's from Jackie. Jackie says, confused about the weather? This guy is too. Besides many robins, we saw this guy crawling through the snow near Atwood. I think it paints a pretty good picture of how things are right now. We're up, down, we're all around. It's the weather roller coaster that is March.
A frog sitting in the snow. Yeah, that
Doesn't make
speaks
sense.
to 2 very different seasons. Make that make sense, right?
Yeah.
It has been quite a couple of weeks. All right, Leanne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Turning now to the latest on the Iran war, now into its 14th day. It's showing no signs of slowing down. The number of deaths and the effect on the global economy continuing to grow. CTV's Heather Wright has the latest from Turkey.
What appears to be a projectile streaks across the sky near Incirlik Air Base in southern Turkey. NATO confirming a missile from Iran bound for Turkey was intercepted today, the 3rd such interception since the war began.
It sounds crazy because, normally Iran is a semi-ally to Turkey. So that was surprising to see. But, war is crazy.
Turkish authorities have not said what the target was, but U.S. and NATO troops are stationed at Incirlik. In Istanbul, the mood is calm, but there is worry the war could spread.
They are trying to involve other countries too, and so maybe there will be something, but I'm hoping it won't be anything bad.
Today, the United States confirmed a refueling plane, similar to the one seen here, crashed in western Iraq, killing all 6 crew members. U.S. Central Command says the crash was not caused by hostile or friendly fire and is under investigation. In Tehran, smoke can be seen rising as thousands gathered to mark Al-Quds Day, one of many rallies across the country. People are not afraid of these attacks, the head of the judiciary said, vowing Iran won't back down. While Iran has been battered by U.S. and Israeli bombardment, it continues to strike its neighbors, with thick black smoke seen rising from Dubai's financial district today. In northern Israel, Iran's proxy Hezbollah fired hundreds of rockets overnight, injuring dozens, including a number of children. Israel continues to hit Beirut and its suburbs, with the death toll in Lebanon at nearly 700, according to the health ministry. Today, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres visited Lebanon and called for an immediate ceasefire.
Lebanon was dragged into a war that is not a war that his people would be willing to have.
The exact death toll of this conflict is still not clear, but government officials and UN agencies believe as many as 2,000 people have been killed and millions displaced, the majority in Iran and Lebanon. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
The newest snapshot of Canada's job picture is in, and it's not rosy. The latest numbers next. While some more dark clouds over the Canadian economy today, new job numbers from last month show the biggest loss in decades, aside from the pandemic. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao with the data and the details.
At recent job fairs across the country, plenty of job seekers have turned out, hoping to get hired amid a sharp slowdown in employment.
A lot of people are eager and ready to work.
The unexpected plunge in positions, driving up February's unemployment rate from 6.5 to 6.7%, after experts had forecast job gains for the economy.
I thought we'd add actually more than 10,000. So to see us shed
85. There's very, very little good news you can pull from this one.
The losses were broad-based across industries, including the services sector and manufacturing. Quebec led the way with a drop of 57,000 jobs, while BC, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba also slipped. In Ontario, employment held steady, though the unemployment rate rose to 7.6% as more people looked for work.
It's been harrowing. It's been dehumanizing.
Zara Baksh lost her job as an administrative assistant 6 years ago, and since then hasn't been able to find a full-time job. She's now unhoused, sleeping on a friend's couch. Still, she's not giving up.
I am still hopeful. I don't know why, but there's a part of me that thinks, you know, with my skill set, like someone will notice me, someone will return a call back. I'm trying to get as creative as I can with how I'm seeking jobs.
Most of the losses came from full-time positions in the private sector and wiping out gains seen late last year. The harsh winter weather in part being blamed, along with trade uncertainty with the U.S. and the softening housing market.
I don't believe we're in a recession, but clearly the economy is struggling out of the gate in 2026.
And some worry the fallout from the fighting in the Middle East could further impact the economy. Still, despite the job losses, the national unemployment rate is actually roughly where it was a year ago, and hourly wages, they're actually up 3.9% year over year. John Benavalli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, recapping our top stories on this Friday, CTV's Krista Simpson in studio with the details. Today's snowfall, Krista, the return of wintry weather, certainly wreaking some havoc out on the roads.
Tony, slippery conditions led to portions of Highway 401 being closed. Police dealing with numerous crashes in and around the region. That includes a fatal collision involving a truck and an SUV in the Maple Grove Road and Speedsville Road area of Cambridge. The cause is still under investigation, but certainly weather is being looked at as a factor. 5 years after a woman from Hagersville disappeared, there's a renewed plea from provincial police for information. Amber Ellis was last seen in February 2021. OPP say she may have been involved in a confrontation in the Eagle Place neighborhood in Brantford shortly before she vanished. They're hoping this new information will lead to new tips in the case.
And Krista, school's now out officially for March break, and if you're sticking around southwestern Ontario for it, looking for things to do, our digital team has a few ideas.
Yeah, Tony, they've compiled a list of free activities being offered over the next week. We should note some you might have to register for, but they do not come at any cost. There's a K-pop Demon Hunters themed dance party, St. Patrick's Day activities, even a Birds of Prey event at a library. And that's just a few. There's lots more online. So for the full list, scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app, or to download the app right now, or visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
As Uncle Tony, I've been learning a lot about the popularity of K-pop Demon Hunters lately, and as a mom, you would know that too, I'm sure. So
very well.
that's going to be a popular event. Krista, thank you. The best in Waterloo Region's business community were celebrated last night at the Greater KW Chamber of Commerce 2026 Business Excellence Awards. A gala at Binghamton's honored more than a dozen businesses and individuals who've made contributions to the region's economy and people. Taking home the Business of the Year awards were Food Zen, GSP Group Inc., and Gore Mutual Insurance Company. Geraldine Stafford was named Community Leader of the Year. And I had the honor of being the evening's Master of Ceremonies.
Congratulations to each and every one of you for playing a role in being part of the fabric that is the business community in this great region of our province.
And more than 500 people attended the gala, which recognized the extraordinary contributions of more than 100 nominees. Congratulations to the winners and to all of those nominees. It was a fantastic evening. Hats off to everyone involved in putting that together last night. All right, next, staging crashes for profit. CTV's investigative unit, W5, has been looking into a surge in insurance payouts to criminals. More on that next. W5 is on the trail of insurance fraudsters staging crashes for profit. A surge in these crimes has led to huge payouts for criminals who are sometimes connected to organized crime. As CTV's John Woodward reports, insurance companies are asking for ways to put an end to the payouts.
This vehicle is being unloaded in an insurance facility near Toronto.
part of a group of cars that were damaged in crashes and are write-offs destined for scrap. But before they get destroyed, they've got to be examined for evidence, because police suspected the stories behind these crashes were lies.
We had an officer that noticed it.
Detective David Jasiak is with Durham Regional Police's Serious Financial Crimes Unit. He says a sergeant spotted a common thread in dozens of crashes and flagged them for an investigation into whether they had been staged to get insurance money. That led to multiple charges and to insights into how schemes like these work.
They will purchase this vehicle cheap. Sometimes the vehicles are already smashed up.
What kind of money are we talking about here?
I had a case where a payout was $40,000.
$40,000 on just one car. A set of videos obtained from multiple cameras in this car in the spring of 2025 shows how this can work from all angles. A car edges into the intersection of a country road and then waits. Another car approaches and then a crash.
Here the damage is pretty significant. That would write the car off.
Aviva insurance investigator Mike Cardillo dug into the history of some 60 cars he says were connected to the scheme to block payouts he says could have been in the millions.
I think the story on this one was the individual was driving on a country road, swerved to miss an animal, and went into a ditch and hit a tree.
Was that true?
It was not true.
Police say some alleged fraudsters belong to violent criminal groups. Last summer, more than 50 charges were laid against one alleged group, including gun charges and extortion.
It's a danger to the public that this is happening.
Aviva Insurance's Jamie Lee says they're seeing a 400% surge in staged collisions and says rules in one hotspot, Ontario, mean they must offer coverage to a customer even if their own investigation has found that customer may have been part of a scam.
Right now, the insurers are actually unable to take action when someone has been identified for fraud.
So you're saying right now somebody could come in on Monday with a fake crash, try and scam you out of tens of thousands of dollars, and on Tuesday they can just try it again?
Yeah, so it's very difficult right now for us to actually take action and to take them off risk.
Ontario's insurance regulator says companies can still investigate suspicious crashes, but says blacklisting customers isn't allowed, saying the insurer's allegations are not a finding of fraud, and under Canadian law, individuals are presumed innocent until a court determines otherwise. Ontario's minister responsible hinted he was open to changing this.
And if there's a bad actor out there, we're going after the bad actor in consultation with the insurance companies, with our great police officers.
Detective Jasiak says he's tired of first responders wasting their time on these bogus crashes.
What's it like for you to see all that effort for something that's fake?
Yeah, it's aggravating. You had fire department, ambulance, police. So you've got 3 frontline emergency services tied up for a lie.
He's hoping for a change so crime like this doesn't pay.
CTV's John Woodward and our W5 investigative unit with some great reporting there. All right, more news in a moment. First, let's head over and check in with Leanne.
We're currently seeing rainfall in Waterloo region this hour as that system continues to make its way through southern and southwestern Ontario. We'll find out what's in store for your Saturday morning coming up in Wake Up Weather. After the Big Bang Theory, maybe you can play along in Celebrity Jeopardy tonight. It's followed by Happy's Place, Stumble, and then cap it off on this snowy Friday evening with Boston Blue tonight on CTV.
Okay, we're going to check in with Krista Simpson one more time for a look at what's coming up a little bit later tonight at 11:30. Krista.
Well, Tony, it is Friday, which means the odd will be buzzing. The Kitchener Rangers are facing off against the Owen Sound Attack tonight. Just a handful of games left in the regular season, so certainly a lot of excitement ahead of the playoffs. We'll have the game highlights tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Yes, looking forward to that. Krista, thank you. We've got Kitchener in the playoffs. We've got Brantford in the playoffs. Guelph making the cut recently, so we're going to be watching the postseason pretty soon.
We certainly are, and hey, it's a great night to be at the Odd inside because it's messy out there.
Always so smooth with the segues.
Hey, gotta have it. All right, let's take a look at what's in store as we head into the overnight hours. That system pushing through tomorrow morning. Expect to see some blowing snow, some morning flurry activity, but we should get a break from this messy, wintry mix by tomorrow afternoon, and get out, enjoy it while you can, because like we talked about Sunday, another storm coming.
Another one coming, but on the bright side of things, it's the return of skiing at Chicopee in Kitchener. Their reopening comes just in time for March break, a big rebound from earlier this week when flooding was the story during all that rain and those mild temperatures.
Yeah, after a few days of work to redirect the water, Mother Nature came in and added this natural gift today.
Woohoo! Winter's back! It's awesome. It's going to make for a great March break. We're fully committed to getting through March break, so when we get some of those double digits colds, we're supposed to get them 2 nights, we're going to actually invest in making more snow just so the experience is fabulous for everybody coming out on March break.
I love how excited Bill is, and all those skiers and snowboarders too. Slopes expected to stay open until March 22nd. Tony, I got to get out there once because you know Ashley and I had so much fun in our skiing and snowboarding getting the game segments. I need to get out one more time.
Looked like a lot of fun, and you've got another week or so to do it. Now, Leanne, this footage, on Friday nights during our credit roll, we always show footage that was taken during the same week.
How was this taken this week?
This looks like it was taken in the future, but you know, we have hope that it will look like this again soon.
You know what? I was out last night for a run on the dry streets of Waterloo, and this morning they were covered in snow, and we may have just reached a snow record today. We got to wait and see.
We'll keep you posted. Have a great weekend. I will see you Sunday night on CTV News Channel.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We'll be tuning in.
All right.
Good night.